Greetings to all. Welcome to Voice of Takshashila. This is Sailusha and I am here to talk about merger of banks. Last year, the Finance Minister have announced the amalgamation of 10 public sector banks into 4 larger banks. After this, the number of public sector banks in India has reduced to 12 from 27. The government has announced the merging of Oriental Bank of Commerce and United Bank into Punjab National Bank, Allahabad Bank into Indian Bank, Syndicate Bank into Canara Bank, and finally the Corporation Bank Andhra Bank into Union Bank of India. The history of bank merger dates back to 1960s in order to bail out the weaker banks and protect consumer interest. The main reason behind merging of the banks is that banks develop NPAs, non-performing assets, and lead to lesser lending, and this will acquire them losses and ultimately the burden comes on governments. Now, let us talk about the pros and cons involved in merging of banks. The greatest advantage is that operation costs get reduced due to economic sales and thus enhancing the banker system work more professionally. For the bank, enhancing and reviving its identity as a larger bank becomes much easier. The larger bank is capable of facing any kind of global competition from other banking monsters, and also the larger bank is capable of offering provisions and services, thus helping in integrated growth of the banking sector. Underperforming banks can get a chance to survive and thus protecting the consumer trust. And also the larger bank is capable of and can be managing the short-term and long-term liquidity and depend less on the overnight borrowings under call money market and from RBI under liquid adjustment facility and market standing facility. Now let us talk about the disadvantages involved in bank merger. The larger bank has to handle the weaker banks with which it is being merged, and it becomes difficult to manage the larger manpower and different culture. Bank merger destroys decentralization and people react emotionally in bank acquisition. The larger banks are more prone to global economic crisis, and mostly the bank merger lies on paper because different culture ethos take time to change, and the risk capabilities of the banks differ from one to another, and this might create frictions and this lead to downfall of the bank. And also recapitalization can help smaller banks to revive their economic capital base, but it becomes difficult for the larger banks because they acquired more losses or NPAs. To sum up, totally the bank merger can help in creating operational cost and also generating economic scales. To sum up, totally bank merger help in consolidation and expansion of banking sector. It is necessary to help smaller weaker banks because they have failed to meet the expectations. If managed properly, bank merger can benefit the economy in reducing the operational costs and generation of economic scales. Above all, facing any kind of global competition becomes much easier. Thank you for watching. This is Sailusha signing off. Stay updated for more videos.